Hey, how's it going? It's Carl, aka Carl Drum Tech. I'm here right now in Redondo Beach at Veterans Park, and today I want to talk to you about the process of auditioning for drum corps and what to expect. Now, I think what this is really going to help is, the people who have never auditioned for drum corps and have absolutely no idea what to expect. So I'm going to go over that with you right now as far as what to expect when you're auditioning for a drum corps, when you're auditioning for a drum line, to get you prepared mentally and physically ready to put your best foot forward. Now, take it from me, somebody who has auditioned for many different drum corps, somebody who has gotten cut, somebody who's made lines, and also as a staff member who has cut people and asked people to come back and join the line itself. So, like the thing that you want to think about when you're going into an audition is you have to think of it from a staff's point of view. What the staff is thinking about, what the instructional staff is thinking about, is they want to pick the best possible students they possibly can, because at the end of the day, it's still a very competitive activity. So they want to put out the best drumline or the best group they possibly can, and they have to pick the best students out of all the candidates that come out and audition. So keep that in mind. So whatever you can do to prepare before the audition is going to help you tremendously. So if there is an audition packet out, make sure you get a hold of that, make sure you practice it, make sure you learn it. If you can possibly memorize it, that is going to go a long way towards impressing your instructors. What about, let's say, you're really into the drumline you want to join. I'm sure you've already seen a lot of videos of that group. So make sure that you watch those videos and you try to emulate the technique and the approach that the drumline has, so you can be prepared with that as well. Maybe even seek out people who have marched in the line, maybe age outs of that line, and ask them what the technique is. Get some insight into what that drumline is like, what the staff looks for, so that, again, to give you the best possible preparation you possibly can, so that you can put your best foot forward when you go and audition. Now, so what should you expect when you actually go out there and go to an audition? So most likely it's at a high school. You're most likely gonna fly out somewhere if it's far away, or you're gonna drive out somewhere that's local. And like I said, you're gonna go to this high school and there's gonna be all these drums, ready to go for you to get on and show your skills. There's gonna be a lot of people also auditioning for your spot and other spots in the group. So, but the thing you have to really worry about is the people who are, auditioning for the same spot as you are. So if you're auditioning for tenor, there's gonna be a lot of people auditioning for tenor, and most likely, if you're auditioning for snare, there's gonna be a lot of people auditioning for snares. So make sure you're prepared for that. So you wanna stick out to the best of your ability, and the preparation that I talked about is going to help you stick out the most. And so, like I said, think of it from a staff's point of view. How are you going to help their drum line, their group, be as competitive as possible? So, preparation is one thing. The other thing is they're gonna want to see how you play with the veterans. So the veterans who are coming back that year, you're probably gonna get a chance to drum with them. So make sure that you are completely aware of everything that's going on in terms of what's happening with the exercise, what the tempo is, what's, the people you're supposed to be listening to. Make sure you really listen into them, make sure you really line up what you're playing, and be, like I said, just be so aware of what's going on, and make adjustments as quickly as possible. If an instructor tells you to make an adjustment with your hands, to make an adjustment with your volume, to make an adjustment with your basic overall technique, make sure you execute that as quickly as possible. Because again, look at it from a staff's point of view. If it's a lot of different applicants, they want to choose the people who can make the adjustment as quickly as possible, because there's only so much time in the season. They want to make sure that the students that they pick can make the adjustments as quickly as they possibly can. If it's somebody who is not as experienced and can make those adjustments quickly, they may not want to take those students. So keep that in mind. You want to make sure you execute any changes as quickly as possible. Take in everything that the staff and instructors are telling you and just soak it all in and execute to the best of your ability. Now, there's gonna be times where you're on a drum. There's gonna be times where you're gonna be not on a drum. So, when you're on the drum, like I said, make sure you're listening in, make sure you're, listening to the veterans, and make sure you play and blend with them. But if you're not on the drum, you know, and there's gonna be times where you're not on a drum because there's so many people who are applying, there's so many people who are auditioning that they want to make sure they get a chance to see every single person on a drum. So if you're on a drum and they want to see another player, you know, they want to see how their skills are and they want to see them on the drum, they might kick you out of that drum. Not kick you out, but you know, like, you know, just give that other person a chance to drum so they can show off their skills. So you might be relegated to playing on the floor on a pad. Make sure you take that opportunity to, you know, again, be completely aware of what's going on. Listen to the instructors, listen to the techniques that they're teaching, and try to pick that up as best you can. And still, when an exercise is being played, drum that exercise on your pad to the best of your ability as if you were still on a drum. So either way, no matter how you look at it, make sure you drum to the best of your ability if you're on a drum or you are on a pad. And here's something to consider, okay? So if you're on a drum a lot, it's possible that the instructor wants to see a lot more of you on the drum. And there's a good chance that they're thinking about calling you back. So there's a good chance if you are on a drum. If you're not on a drum, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not thinking about you, they're not looking at you in that moment. Maybe they're thinking, okay, I've already seen enough of you. I think you're good. I think you'll have a good chance, and I want to put somebody else on who is on, you know, the bubble or is, you know, on the fence. So they want to get those people on the drum, and you know, they don't want to see any more of you. That is possible as well. But either way, think of it positively. What can you do, you know, to give yourself the best chance possible to improve as much as you can, you know, whether you're on the drum or on a pad. Either way, you can take that opportunity to make sure you soak everything in and get better. Now, there may be some marching, all right, element. There might be a marching element to the audition, so make sure, you know, apply everything the drumming to your marching in terms of just like I said, you know, making corrections as best you can, making adjustments as quickly as you can, being aware of everything that's going on. Everything that you do for drumming, make sure you apply it to the marching. So now, what happens if you do get cut? What happens if you do make it? And you know, what to expect, you know, with that process itself. So I've been on the end of getting cut, you know, and I had an experience where, you know, it was in the Madison Scouts where I auditioned for them, and I had no idea whether I made it or not, and they basically herded a bunch of people in the room, myself included, and they said, sorry guys, you didn't make it. So, you know, so that might happen to you, all right? So, you know, but you can't take it negatively. You can't take it as like, you know, oh no, like, you know, I suck. That doesn't mean that at all. You know, it just means, okay, cool, a chance to improve, a chance to get better, and you should take the opportunity to ask the instructors, what can I do to get better? What do you think it was that, you know, held me back and, you know, not giving me the call back? So, you know, take that instruction and, you know, use that opportunity to get better, you know, in between that moment until the next audition. So, you know, obviously, you know, I've also made drum corps before. So, you know, if you get a call back, you know, they might just tell you straight up, hey, you made it, you're good, don't worry about it. You know, and or they might give you a piece of paper, so expect that as well if you are going to get a callback or if you make the line. But the most important thing, even if you do get a callback, even if you are going to make the line, make sure you always talk to the instructors and ask them, you know, what you can do to get better, or what you need to bring for the next camp or the next audition to make sure that you are putting your best foot forward for that audition as well. So, and then once they tell you what you need to work on, make sure you work on it, make sure you put in the time, make sure you put in the effort, and you're going to come out to the next camp and the next audition smoking and ready to go. So one other thing to keep in mind is that, you know, let's say, you know, you're not good enough to make snare, you're not good enough to make tenor. They might say, hey, you know, we have a couple bass drum spots open, you know, we want to check you out and play bass drum. You know, be open to that as well, because that might happen. You know, you may not get the instrument that you want in that drum line, but you know, you may get an opportunity to march in the group itself, and it may come in the form of marching in the bass drum line. It might come in the form of marching in the cymbal line, or, you know, the front ensemble, whatever the case may be. You know, they might flip-flop or whatever it is. Take the opportunity to decide, you know, do I want to march in the group, or do you want to take a year to get better and hone your skills? Whatever you want to do, know that that is also possible, that this instructional staff may ask that of you as well. So that's pretty much what to expect when you go into a drum corps audition. So just be ready. There's gonna be a lot of dudes and there's gonna be a lot of guys and gals who are auditioning for the same spot as you are. So make sure, like I said, put your best foot forward, be ready, be prepared as best you can, try to soak everything in, and be prepared to drum on some drums, be prepared to drum on your pad, but most of all, be aware of what's going on, try to soak everything in, and no matter what, it is a learning experience, it is a positive experience, and you always have to look at it that way. So that's pretty much all I want to talk about today. Hopefully you found this video extremely helpful. So if you liked it, please make sure you press the like button. And if you have any questions, make sure you leave a comment below. If you have marched and you want to share your audition experience to those who are, haven't been through the audition process and you want to give some knowledge and some insight, make sure you leave that as well and give some tremendous value to those who, have never marched before, who have never auditioned before. So make sure you do that. That would be extremely, I would extremely be grateful for that. So it would be great if you could do that. And also, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe. I always appreciate it anytime people subscribe to my channel. If you're watching this video right now, thank you so much. And I'm so thankful every single time people do like and comment and engage and subscribe and just interact with me here in this format. I really do appreciate it, so thank you so much. And if you feel like somebody could use this video and could benefit from it, make sure you share this video. And as always, I'm going to really appreciate it. So that's pretty much it. Thank you so much, like I said, again, for watching. And until next time, take care. Peace.